Welcome to the Parkinson's Disease Education Show, where we demystify the disease and empower you as the person with Parkinson's disease to reach your true potential. The content contained on this show is for informational purposes only and is not meant to be a replacement for information or advice that you receive from your in-person medical or therapy professionals. If you haven't already, I hope you'll consider subscribing, and for an even more personalized experience, please ask us about our memberships. Now, without further ado, let's start the show. Good morning, everybody. Dr. Michael here. It is time, once again, for What's Next Wednesday. For those of you who are new to the Facebook and YouTube that we do, I do this about every 2 weeks, just updating you on what's going on with upcoming content. And got a lot to share with you this morning, so I hope you'll stick around for just a little while, and I'll try to make this brief as well, and not drone on for a while. But if you're here, let me know in the comments, say hello. I'd be happy to give you a shout out. And otherwise, I'm going to dive right into it because I have a lot to talk about with you this morning. I did this at a different time because today's just crazy, partly because of some of the announcements I'm going to make. But I also have a dental appointment in an hour, so I kind of had to fit it in where I could. So this coming weekend, there's going to be... Hi, Brian. Welcome to the show, and thank you for being here live today. This weekend, there's an episode on the channel that's going to be about low-dose naltrexone. I wanted to share just a couple of highlights about that because you may not have heard about that or have the concept of what that is. It's actually something that I learned about just recently that could be an option for persons with Parkinson's to take. There's so many different supplemental options out there now that I wanted to share this one because it's like I ask about some and then 5 more pop up. It's like a Hydra, 5 more pop up where you cut one off. So, but it's a good thing to have options. So, and Brian's in London. Welcome from the UK. I appreciate you. Let's see. Let me give you a couple highlights about low-dose naltrexone before I move on to a couple other announcements about what's coming on the channel. One of those is today, so don't miss that. I want to make sure that you get an opportunity to hear about it. So one thing that's important to know about low-dose naltrexone is originally what it was used for is to treat addiction, substance addiction. So at low doses, that's a regular dose, but at low doses, it acts differently. Helps to modulate the immune system and can reduce inflammation. So with any kind of inflammatory problem, reducing inflammation is important. Parkinson's responds well to reduction in inflammation. Now, there's more than one way to reduce inflammation with or without substances like low-dose naltrexone, but I think it's worth it to mention this. It could potentially help with mood through boosting natural endorphins in the brain, and it could also protect the nerve cells. The one thing that is you need to know about ahead of the episode coming out this weekend is that there's research behind it, but the research behind low-dose naltrexone essentially has centered around MS, fibromyalgia. I've got a list here, Crohn's, and some other autoimmune conditions, but Parkinson's doesn't have a lot of research with that yet. So it's kind of, again, a lot of things, it's an ongoing area of research. But I hope to share a lot more with you. I hope you enjoyed I know at least one person thought the handout that I put out for the cannabis episode was useless, but otherwise I got good feedback on having a little guide in a PDF form. So let me know if you'd like to do that for the low-dose naltrexone, just to have kind of a printable guide. I'll be happy to provide that. So what's coming later, or before I go into the next thing, this weekend, that should be dropping at 9 o'clock on Saturday at Central Time, USA time. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do that. And if you shake that bell, you'll get notified when those new episodes drop. So the next thing I was going to say, there's squirrels all over the place on this episode. This afternoon, this is the really important announcement. This afternoon at 2:15 Central Time, I'm going to be doing an interview, a live interview here on the channel and Facebook, and it's going to be with the Dr. Philip Blair, and Colonel Dr. Philip Blair. He's a retired colonel from the United States Air Force. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'll confirm that. But anyway, he's a physician, and he has a clinic or a lab or both up in Washington State in the United States. And they do a lot of work with beta caryophyllene and other cannabis as well, cannabis products as well as beta caryophyllene. And BCPs apparently can also be really helpful in treating Parkinson's for similar reasons that we discussed with low-dose naltrexone and other substances on the channel, like antioxidants and so forth. So I was interested to learn more about that, and I thought that you all could learn on the fly with me because I've done a little research on it, but I want to make sure that he can share it with you as well. So I thought it was intriguing that his company actually produces these products. It's not just, I just thought that was interesting, and I thought that we could hear it directly from the source. I shouldn't say he produces it. It's a natural product. BCPs are a natural product, but they create those products at their or package it, if you will, from the natural substance. They have 6 different ones that they produce. Produce seems to be a word I'm stuck on, so I'm going to move on. So that's at 2:15 this afternoon, and I just had to kind of fit it in where he could schedule it and I could schedule it because he's on Pacific time and I'm on Central time, so it's just, so that's important, and I hope you'll come to that. If you're a member of the channel, you will be able to ask questions directly of Dr. Blair through the live chat. There's a members only live chat for this live stream. For one thing, I want to cut the chatter down while we're doing the interview. So, and we're going to mainly save that for the end where we do some questions. It should be around an hour long total, hopefully. So that's the plan. And yeah, that was the main thing I was going to say. That was one of the most important announcements today. Was that video or the interview is coming up this afternoon. So it will be right here, broadcast to the same places, Facebook and the YouTube channel. It'll be a live stream, and if you're on Facebook, you could definitely leave comments, but on the YouTube side, you'll need to have a membership to ask questions in the live chat. So, what else? One more thing I was going to say. This is an aside, but it's also important. For the month of June only, Comfort Linen, if you're not familiar with them, they make bed linen specifically for persons with mobility issues, Parkinson's in particular. The owner of Comfort Linen is the CEO, is a retired physical therapist, so she knows what she's doing. And these products are really great. I wanted to make sure that you know there's a 30% sale going on this month. So there's a link in the description below to their website. And if you use our link, you can also potentially get a 15% discount. I think it's even on top of the 30% website sale. So could be up to 45% if I'm correct on that. So that's a huge savings because they're not cheap products, but they're really, really good quality. And I actually have a demo kit they just sent me this past week. If you'll bear with me for a second, I wanted to show you something on that. So this is the cool thing about Comfort Linen. And they've got, I thought this was super cute, by the way. This is like what's a normal satin sheet right here. Look, there's like a little mini pajamas. That just cracked me up when I saw that. Basically, it kind of demonstrates how on a regular sheet, you can kind of slide up and down, but side to side, there's a lot of friction, right? But on their product, which is the other side, you can have multi-direction. The friction is reduced. I can't get this to straighten out, but anyway, see it slides smoothly up and down and side to side. And you'll see there's actually a demarcation over here in the margins. This is actually this is meant to be a different material so that you can't slide off the edge of the bed. notice there's more friction there. If this was flat, it would be a little better. But yeah, so smooth there, and then can't go any further there. So it's for safety. So you can move more freely in bed here, and you don't have the safety risk of sliding off the edge of the bed here. And what's cool is you can do the transfer either, you could slide your feet off the bed and then sit up or whatever. So it's really neat. There's other persons with Parkinson's I know personally that use them and love them. So take advantage of that sale. That's all I was going to say about that. But this afternoon, please, I hope you can make it to that interview. And that's 2:15 again. And this weekend at 9 o'clock, we'll do the new episode on low-dose naltrexone. One more quick announcement. Oh, actually, Brian had a question. And Aida, hi, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Brian asked where they produce the products. Geographically, they produce them, I believe, in Washington State. I think they actually have a lab or a facility there where they make them. But beta-caryophyllene is a plant-based product, so I'm assuming that they get the material for it and then they put it together on site. I don't know enough about it to tell you 100% certainty what the answer is to that question, but I hope to find that out too, because I'm curious to find out as well if where they source the product and what happens to it once they get it and all that stuff. So, okay. I talked about the interview today. There's another one next week I want to announce briefly, and then I'll conclude for today. Next week on the 18th, 9 o'clock Central. I'll announce it again to make sure, but I'm almost 100% sure. At 9 o'clock next week, I'm super excited to announce this. On this channel and Facebook, I'm going to be interviewing Dr. Michael Oken, and also hopefully Dr. Ray Dorsey. If those names aren't familiar to you, they should be, because they're very prominent neurologists. Dr. Oken and Dr. Dorsey have each co-authored a book called Ending Parkinson's Disease. More than one. I can't remember all their books, but those are the two. That's the one book that comes out to memory, first of all. And the book that's coming out is called The Parkinson's Plan, PLAN. There's an acronym there. I forget what it stands for at this moment, but really interesting book, and essentially it's looking at kind of what regulatory changes can we make to protect people from exposures that would lead to Parkinson's. What can we do for those that are suffering with Parkinson's to help them now, and more. So that's a book that is out right now on Amazon. But anyway, they had a pre-order, but I think it's available fully now. And I'm really excited to interview them. I was actually approached, and I'm honored to have been asked to do this interview. So looking forward to that next week at 9 o'clock, Wednesday, the 18th. Yeah, that's Wednesday. So that's going to be pretty much first thing in the morning. And man, am I excited to talk to Dr. Oken. I've actually wanted to talk to him for a couple of years, and he wasn't available a couple of years ago. He wasn't doing interviews or anything. Now I was asked to do it, so I was like, wow, yes, absolutely, I will say yes to that. If you don't know, he's the medical director. Dr. Oken is the medical director for the Parkinson's Foundation here in the United States. So he's all over the internet. He writes articles, shares his thoughts on Instagram and Facebook all the time, and he's very responsive as well. He seems like a really nice person. So hopefully that's the case when I get him on an interview. But and Dr. Dorsey has done videos off and on as well with interview. I think he was on No Silver Bullet for PD not too long ago. And Dr. Dorsey talks a lot about the chemical exposures, like dry cleaning agents. And now he and Dr. Oken with this new book have talked about and highlighted the golf course thing, which I was just floored by that. I mean, my gosh, think about how many people live by golf resorts and could be exposing themselves to harmful toxins, weed killer, fertilizer, all those things. So, I mean, it could affect the water table, as you imagine. So, kind of makes sense. And I've had more than one patient who has Parkinson's as a therapist who's been an avid golfer. Makes you think. So, I'm going to conclude, my friends, but thank you for being here this morning. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. It really helps us to grow on YouTube, helps people to get shown more videos. And it's just a nice thank you for what we're doing on the channel to support us. And again, if you're a member of the channel, which is a very low cost for you with the value, you'll be able to do the live stream chat for those interviews and be able to ask direct questions when we're doing the interview. So normally I do a live chat public, but this is going to be a members only live chat for these only. So, all right. I hope you have a great Wednesday. I'm going to book it so I can get ready for my appointment and get everybody ready. So I appreciate you being here this morning, and thanks a lot. I'll see you next time. Be empowered. Have a great day.